Hey everybody, Mike Chipperini here from Chipper's Island Adventures, and today I'm going to work on a little storage idea for the rear of the Travato 59K. So hey everybody, I'm here in front of the Travato 59K, and recently I was up at LL Bean where I met Tim and Nancy Walker. And Tim brought me around to the back of his rig, the Katie Wake, and he showed me a nice little storage idea. So let's go to the back of the rig. So as you can see, here I put up some command hooks, and these work really well. But I wanted to come up with a better storage idea. And what Tim showed me is the way he did it, and he used this product called L-Track. And this is a nice little track system that goes up and you can adjust it. So I'm going to give you an example. So here's the L-Track, and the nice little thing is you have these rings that you put on and they lock in place. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this to size and then use these rings in order to hang my hoses and stuff off of. And what I'll use is carabiner clips or something of that nature to hang off of here. First thing first, we're going to go ahead and measure how much we're dealing with. And basically right about here, we're dealing with about a foot. So here I have a piece of L-Track. And if I go about 12 inches, that is perfect because I'll have 1, 2, 3 screws. So let's go ahead and measure just like this. And I'm going to make a little line. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the back. Just bring it around. Now I like to use squares. So I have a square. By using this square, I can make a nice straight line going across. So what I'm going to do is clamp this down on this surface. So there's multiple ways of cutting this. One is with a hacksaw. Another way you might be able to cut is just using a miter saw. But what I'm going to use is a grinder with a cutting blade. And this is a metal cutting blade that I have on here. Okay, so what I did is I cut 3 equal, and now I'm going to go ahead and neaten these up on the miter saw right here, just to get the edges even. Because this miter saw can cut these pretty well. Now that I've neatened them all up on the ends, they're all squared off, I'm just going to hit them with the grinder just to go ahead and smooth off the back sides a little bit because these are a little bit rough. So I have a little grinder over here. And that just takes the edge off a little bit. Cleans it up. I'm just feeling for any rough pieces on the back. So now I have 3 equal pieces, and if you notice I cut them all so that the screw holes line up pretty good because I can be anal like that. Okay, now to mount these I have these screws, and what I'm using is stainless because I figure stainless and the aluminum shouldn't rust at all. And these are number 10 by 3/4. What I'm going to do, I have my little handy dandy screw or size determiner. And by looking at this, I'm thinking that about a 1/8 bit should be perfect or less. And I just so happen to have a 1/8 bit right here. And looking at the size, I think that'll be pretty good. So I'm going to use a 1/8 drill bit in order to mount these. And here's my drill. Okay, so what I have here is a 1/8 bit. I have my 3 reels, and I also have my screws. One of the other things you have to concern yourself with is making sure it's even and flat across. The thing is, you can't use a level because the van might be off a little bit. So what I'm going to use is this big square, and by putting it on the edge of the cabinet, I'll have a flat surface. So that's pretty even right about there. This light is off a little bit. I can see it from here. So I'm going to go ahead and get it as close to the light as possible. Make my marks, like so. So now I'll go ahead and make my pilot holes. Not too deep. Now once again, these are number 10 by 3/4 screws. You don't need much because all the weight is going to be downward. And then I just like to use my little screwdriver and hand tighten them. That way there I don't overstrip them. And now I have my first track mounted. So here's how it's looking so far. I have 3 rows, 1, 2, and then I have a 3rd row down here. Now, if you'll notice, I put in hooks instead of the rings and then a carabiner clip. I just eliminated one stage. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So right now I'm down in my shop, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this L-track mount and I'm going to remove this ring and I'm going to replace it with this S. And I'm going to show you how I do this. First thing I'm going to do is put on safety glasses because I am cutting metal. Bada boom. Now, I'm going to take my ring and I'm going to hold on to it with a pair of channel locks really well. I'm going to come over here and go ahead and cut it. So now I'm going to take the ring with the cut and put it in the channel locks, and I'll use a screwdriver to bend it. If you have a vise, it might be a better way to do it, but I don't have a vise. And if you notice, I bent it just enough for it to come out of there. So now the ring is off. What I'm using here is 3/16 by 1 5/8 S hooks. Now, if I put my S hook in here into my channel locks, I should be able to bend this so it's a 45-degree angle. As you can see, now I have a 45-degree angle. Now, what I'll do is I could take this and put it inside the ring where the ring was. Let me do it this way, like so. So now all I have to do is close this up a little bit. And all I have to do is take my channel locks again and give it a little bit of a squeeze. And that's not going anywhere. So basically, now instead of a ring, I have a hook, which is what I prefer. So that's how I did these S-hooks. And, you know, it takes a little bit of pressure to go ahead and turn them so they're at a 45 degree as opposed to straight. And I'm still going to keep a couple rings just in case I need them. So here I have 2 rings and the rest will be hooks. So that's it. That's how I got that accomplished.